These are the Serrano brothers, twin 16-year-old Wonderkids in FM24. In today's video, we're going to help them achieve all of their goals in the world of football. Well, actually, no. We're only going to help one of them. I'm becoming the agent of Mateo whilst leaving Elias to fend for himself. It's my job to make sure that Mateo grows to the best player he can possibly be, put him in the right environments, give him the right transfers throughout his career to reach his huge potential and maybe even one day win the Ballon d'Or. Elias, on the other hand, well, we'll just sort of see what happens to him. It's up to the game. The question, I suppose, is, am I a better agent than the game? Let's go find out. Come on. So these are our twin Wonderkids on day one. Before we've done any type of agent work or anything, let me introduce you to Elias Serrano and Mateo Serrano. We will be looking after Mateo on the right-hand side over here. He's right-footed, and the only difference between him and his brother Elias is that Elias is left-footed. They are both strikers, and they are both starting the game at Real Sociedad in the under-19s. Their attributes are completely identical. Actually, they're not. That's not true. Their attributes were completely identical, except in the game, Elias has now got one extra level of aggression compared to Mateo. They weigh the same, they're the same height at 6 foot, and they both have a potential ability of 190. So they are destined to be able to reach the very top of football. They are destined to go and win Ballon d'Ors and reach Lionel Messi levels, if there is such a thing. And they are both also starting at 86 current ability. So everything is even at the beginning, except for the aggression, of course, which is maybe just an FM thing. Not sure. As I mentioned, we will be leaving Elias to go his own way and follow what the game wants him to go and do in his career. We will not be interfering with his career in any way, shape or form. However, with Mateo, who we've taken under our wing as his agent, we're going to go and try and find him the very best possible moves in his career to try and take him to the top. I'm going to let you guys decide who had the best career at the end once they've retired in the comments down below. But I suppose we'll be looking for things like competitions won, caps for the national team, Ballon d'Ors, individual awards, of course, which teams they've made it to, who played for the higher profile clubs over the course of their career, that type of thing. And we'll be checking in maybe at the end of each season, maybe at the end of each couple of seasons to see how their careers are going and see. And well, for Mateo, we need to see whether we need to move him to another team to get him the most game time. For the first season, I'm going to leave Mateo here at Real Sociedad under-19s because I think as a 16-year-old, he's not going to start going out on loan for at least another season, maybe 2 seasons. So we're going to leave both players here, and we're going to go now 1 season into the future to find out how they begin their careers. If you like this type of idea for a video and you want to see more things like this, please subscribe to the channel and also let me know what you want to see next in the comments down below, because if you've got a good idea, I'll probably turn it into a video. Also, leave a like, it does really help. And let's go find out how these players have done then at the end of season 1. Okay, so here we are then at the end of our first season, and we're starting with Elias Serrano. Now, Elias, we'll get to know these names a little bit as the video goes on. He is the Wonderkid that we are leaving be. We are not his agent, and in this first season, he's the left-footed one. In this first season, he has played 13 times for the Real Sociedad C team. He's also scored 3 goals in that time. And you'd imagine, actually, this would have helped him develop a little bit. We'll check in. What did his current ability go to? He's up to a 104 current ability, or a 102 recommended current ability. He's actually, I think there has been a bit of an improvement in terms of some of these attributes here. So this is a good start. He is improving. They've also, it seems, won the Spanish Under-19 Cup. That'll be interesting to compare to Mateo, as he also won that because they're in the same team. So let's check out Mateo Serrano's profile now, who is in the Under-19 still at Real Sociedad and has won the Under-19 Cup as well, the Spanish Under-19 Cup. So that's good to see. He's also, this is a bit better, he's also the UEFA Youth League top scorer ahead of Jadon Heskey and Paul Rivera of Real Madrid. So that's already early days, obviously, in his career at 17 years old now, but he's already scoring enough goals to be recognised against, I don't know, Emil Heskey's son, for example. How many games did he play? He's played less games for the Real Sociedad C team, only 5 and scored twice, but he has made appearances for the B team. Now, less game time overall, but has played at a slightly higher level, you take from that, right? How has he improved then without us even having to get involved? He's up to a 108, so he has got a slightly higher current ability already. Is that... Oh, actually, I've just noticed as well. He's got an under-21 cap. Does Elias have an... No. Under-19 caps for Elias. Under-21 cap for Mateo. Already, without us doing anything, I feel like our man has sort of gone ahead in the challenge so far. This is a good sign. I've also checked. They're both still in the under-19 squad. They are, yeah. So from this, we need to make a decision, don't we? Do we leave him here at Real Sociedad? Do we leave him here where he plays a bit? Or do we now that he's 17, do we put him out on loan and try and get him regular game time? He's played in this Real Sociedad B team. So let me see if there's any teams in that league that would also be a good option for him. They play in the Primera Federación Grupo 1, which I imagine is Group 1. Okay. I mean, straight away, Deportivo La Coruña are standing out as an option to maybe send him to. They did get promoted, so they are going to be playing in the... Is it the Hypermotion? Is that called? Yeah, the La Liga Hypermotion, which is the second division. But is he good enough to get into that Deportivo team? Because if he is that actually an option for us to maybe put him there? Let me check the Deportivo La Coruña team. They play with a striker, which is a good thing. We need to make sure that he's going to be playing football. Their striker is Martin Ochoa, who has a current ability of 96. What did I say that Mateo's was? Was it? I think it was 108, right? Straight away, maybe there's Ivan Barbaro here. Okay, there are better players down here, actually. Now, I suppose, actually, we need to look at these in order, don't we? Are there any strikers here that are going to take away his spot in the team, mate? Maybe Lucas Perez, but he's 35 now. Not a striker, not a striker. Devo, which is a fantastic name for what is a Spanish striker here, can play striker. It's not his most natural position either, though. I think he might get in this team. There's Nacho Ferry, who's only 19, but is only on loan. So maybe he goes, does his loan contract end? Yeah, he's going back to his club at Frankfurt. I think I'm going to take a punt on this. I think I'm going to move Mateo to Deportivo and potentially give him game time in the second division in Spain, which feels like a really strong start if he plays. But I think it is a bit of a punt. I'm going to do it, though. Okay, so here he is then. I've moved him on loan into Deportivo La Coruña. Massive team, but down in the second division. We're down in the third division. Have I been taken in a little bit by the glamour? Is he going to play enough football? I guess that's what we're going to find out now in this season. Elias Serrano, I assume, is going to stay at Real Sociedad. Let's go another season in the future and see how this loan goes. Okay, here it is, 6th of June. Let's first start with Elias Serrano, who I'm going to assume has stayed at Real Sociedad. He has. How's he got on? How many games has he played? He's played now, okay, total 33 games for the C team with 13 goals. This past season, he's played 20 games and scored 10 goals and got a really good average rating. Okay, that makes me worried now because if Mateo hasn't played, it would have been better to leave him here. What are they actually playing? Do they play two strikers or is it just one? Because is that a thing to consider? That only one of them, they play with two strikers. So that's probably, I mean, at least they do in the under 19s, they only play with one, but in the senior squad, they play with two. I don't know what they play with in the C team. Oh, to actually go and click on the C team, I need to go on to, they're a separate team altogether. They do play with two strikers. Okay, so they would have both played together potentially. Elias Serrano, though, has made a few good appearances there and scored a lot of goals. He's now 18 years old. Big value on him. What is his current ability now? He's up to, wow, that's a big jump. He's up to 121 current ability. Now, if Mateo has made a jump as good as this, he will definitely be in the Deportivo team, you'd say. However, if he hasn't played any football, will he have made a good of a jump as this? That is the question. At the moment, I'm worried that Elias might have snuck ahead a little bit, but I'm going to go and check. Mateo Serrano is back at Sociedad, and that tells me he's back in the first team. So his loan at Deportivo has come to an end. He's now loan listed. He's also got a big value, which is kind of similar to Elias's. I'm looking at this. He's got 16 finishing now. I think he's actually grown loads. He has played football at Deportivo. Okay, this is what we wanted. He has played 34 games for Deportivo. He's scored 16 goals, and he's now got himself into the first team squad at Real Sociedad. That's a really good season. Not as good of an average rating, but 16 goals scored at this young age in La Liga 2, by the way. Where did they finish in La Liga 2? Did they stay up? They finished 11th. They finished mid-table after being promoted. That's really quite strong. That's actually the one I was worried about, that they might then just be rubbish and go straight back down and he's going to be playing for a team that doesn't score any goals. But they have scored goals. They've scored how many goals? I'm going to check it exactly. They've scored 47 goals, and we know that he scored 16 of them. So that's a really healthy return from him, isn't it? Let's check, though, what is his current ability. Compared to Elias's was 121, right? Now at 18, he's got 321 caps. Mateo's is 134. He's the better striker. We've made the better start here. I think that was a big difference in the finishing as well. In fact, let's do a little comparison to see where those change. Look, he is just a better all-round striker, better defending, mentals, aerially. Technically, they're the same for attacking, vision, and speed. He's got slightly better physicals. If we go to the attributes, you can really see he's got 16 finishing compared to 14. Now, we're going to concentrate, I suppose, a little bit on the striker attributes here. Let's actually put that for an advanced forwards. He's better in 2 of the 3 of the trifecta of dribbling, finishing, and first touch over here. They are still the same first touch. Same passing. He's better at technique. Same anticipation. He's worse at composure. That's interesting. Elias has picked up better composure. He's much better at decisions. 2 better. 1 better at off the ball. 1 better at work rate. He's slower than Elias, but then better at agility, balance, and stamina, and their pace is still the same. I think we should probably check in with comparing the 2 players like this, because this is kind of what we're talking about. We're trying to develop the players. He's overall, apparently, because I suppose these will add up a little bit, he's, what, 13 current ability higher? He's also 2 pounds heavier, which maybe he's developing a bit more as well. Not sure. Let's, though, go. I think we should do another season. I'm really tempted, by the way, with Deportivo now establishing themselves, with him now in the first team squad, but he's actually loan listed. He's their hot prospect, actually, as well, look. At 134, is he going to get anywhere near? He's not, look. He's not going to beat Andre Silva or Umar Sadiq into this first team squad. He's not going to play that many games. He might make the bench. He should make the bench, in fact. But I think I want him to play regular first team football. So he's loan listed. I'm going to send him on loan. I think I'm going to send him back to Deportivo because I think it just makes sense. He's got an affiliation there. He's settled in. Another season in mid-table in the second division, scoring goals. I think that works. And I think that keeps him ahead of Elias. So I'm going to do another season with Deportivo and we'll be back. Okay, here we are then at the end of season number 3. So we've had another season at Deportivo for Mateo. And we're assuming that Elias is still at Sociedad, which he is. He does now say that he's in the first team squad, which is a good sign. We were right on the cusp of that first squad with Mateo, and that's why we decided to loan him out. Elias is in there now. He has made his debut for the first team. Now, this is actually what I was worried about for Mateo. I was worried that he would be in the first team, but just not play that much. Elias has played 6 times for the first team, as well as twice for the B team and scored a goal. But he's had a whole season here, basically. I mean, this is all 3 of these are this season. He's had a season of playing, 15 games? But across 3 different teams. He's played 7 times for the C team, scored 3 goals and done well. 2 for the B team and done okay, scored a goal. 6 sub-appearances for the first team. That's great, right? At the age of 18, that's kind of expected. But we're trying to fast-track this a little bit. This is what I was worried about for Mateo. Has he improved a little bit? 15 acceleration, still 14 finishing. The value's gone up a little bit. He's also made his debut for the under-21s. I don't think he had that before, had he? I think he's still only in the under-20s, maybe under-19s. I think under-20s, though. Now at 19, he's in the under-21s. Still the only milestone is that he's won the under-19s Cup, Spanish under-19s Cup. Has he improved? He's up to 128. So he's still less than what Mateo was at the start of this season. Which, if Mateo has played football again for Deportivo, you'd hope has actually improved again. I think we're getting well ahead of Elias Serrano here. Now, I don't think we need to panic, or if you're a massive Elias Serrano fan, I don't need you to panic. If you want me to fail, you don't need to panic yet, because it's a long career. He's only 19, and he does have, I should show you on here as well, he does have 190 potential ability. So he's got a long way to go. He could still reach that, right? But if we go across to Mateo Serrano, who is listed, by the way, they are listed as brothers, look, in the game. If we go across to him, this is now the profile of a player that is thriving a little bit more. He's had another season, look, with Deportivo, where he's scored a lot of goals. 12 goals in 34. Not as good as his first season, but it's another season of regular football. Now has the media description of Wonderkid. I'm pretty sure Elias is he's a striker. Boring. We go across to Mateo. He's now a Wonderkid. Both have national reputation, by the way. We have an official Wonderkid. 17 finishing, everybody. 15 pace and acceleration. I'm going to guess this is into the 140s now for current ability. Right up there. 147 current ability. He's also picked up the trait argues with officials. I'm pretty sure he had other traits at the start, like good ones that were... I think Elias still has them. Places shot and knocks ball past opponent were the traits that I gave both of our players. Mateo has lost those and now just has argues with officials. Is that a problem? It's not great, is it? I mean, he might be getting a few more yellow cards and he won't be placing his shots anymore. I don't know if placing shots when you've got this good of finishing is actually necessary anyway, because I think if your finishing is really high, you don't need to place your shots and you can finish however. So maybe it's a good thing. I'm not sure. Either way, he has scored some goals. He's got 12 goals, 2 assists, 4 player of the matches. He's now got 9 under 21 caps, 5 goals. That's a really good record for the national team as well. Still no extra milestones in there, but is up to a 147 current ability. That might make him good enough to start for the first team here. Obviously, he's not going to be in this team here because we've not played the games. He's only just got back from his loan here. Here he is. Look, he's out on loan. I need to make a decision. Do I keep him here where he needs to try and get in ahead of João Felix and Oyarzabal as a striker? They've also got Sadiq, who is still a little bit better than him, and Andre Silva, who is actually better than Andre Silva in terms of current ability right now. And I think the AI do go with current ability quite heavily when they are picking the team, don't they? I wonder if, because they've got good options, they picked up João Felix. Where do they finish, by the way? They finished 5th in the league with, I suppose that's a 5th place finish for Elias Serrano, isn't it? I think we need to find him a club where he's going to be a starter. And I think we can find him a club where he's going to be a starter in La Liga, in the top division here in Spain. That's kind of where I'm leaning towards. Is there a team here that would be a good move for him? I don't really want to get involved in the relegation battle. Espanyol are interesting because I feel like he might be better than some of those players. Betis is a fun one. Valencia will be a lovely one. I'm a big Valencia. I'm going to say fan. I'm not a fan of Valencia, but I really like Valencia because of how good they used to. I think the David Villa, David Silva days, and even before that actually, with Ruben Baraka, there's a name you probably weren't expecting in today's video. I wonder if Valencia is a team that he could get into. They've got Hugo Duro as their striker. He's quite good, right? Oh, actually, he's only 142. Is there any other strikers that he'd be struggling? If we just do a little filter here, just for strike, he is better than every striker option that Valencia have. Valencia finished 8th, just outside the European places. If we move him here for a fair value, a fair transfer fee, he should technically be their first choice striker and be able to play La Liga football for a really cool team, Valencia. He's played for Deportivo La Coruña and then Valencia, as well as Sociedad before that. I don't think he's actually made his Sociedad debut. Did he make his debut? No, he's not actually played for the first team here. Maybe we need to make sure he plays for the first team before we move it. No, I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to move him to Valencia. Okay, so the move is now done. Mateo Serrano is a Valencia striker, £25 million with a hefty sell-on fee. For Sociedad is the fee. I thought that was about right. I mean, Valencia probably don't have that type of cash to be splashing, but so in a year or so from now, and they finished 8th in the league, so I'm going to say that they're relatively healthy financial wise, and it's 25 million for a player that is a massive talent. Let's remember that the scouts have identified that his potential is crazy good, and there's a big sell-on fee going to Sociedad. So we're going to say £25 million. Mateo Serrano is officially a Valencia player. And if we go to that squad, and if I go and do that filter that I just did before of the strikers, if we just sort these here, look, Serrano is the best striker at the club. He's got a 148 current ability. He's the out-and-out best striker available to Valencia. I'm just hoping that he plays enough games here. Whereas back at Sociedad, Elias Serrano, I'm hoping with his improvement, with him being up to 128 current ability, I'm hoping that he is going to get some game time. He is listed for loan. I also did notice he is listed as their hot prospect as well, but he has to try and get in the team against Oyarzabal and Felix. Neither I would say are out-and-out strikers, but that seems to be who they're playing up front there either way, right? Look at this Arsenal midfield of Marino and Zubimendi in there. Interesting. Let's just have a look at these current abilities for... Let's do the same thing. Let's filter by strikers or attackers, I suppose. And yeah, you see him on there, but he's the second worst and on the bench. Look, I mean, some of these might be more wingers like Kubo. You could say that about Oyarzabal, couldn't you, if you wanted to? Serrano's 128. He's going to struggle to get in this team, but of course, we're not in charge of his career. We're leaving the game to go and do that. Maybe it'll work out, maybe it won't. I think we're well ahead. I think we've got Mateo well ahead of his twin brother as it stands. Let's go and see how this next season goes with Mateo at Valencia. All right then, I've actually gone 2 seasons into the future. We are now at May 2028. And the reason for this is that I've left him at Valencia for a second season. His first season was a big success, actually. He managed to get himself in La Liga now. Huge jumps forward, look. 16 top flight goals for Valencia. No assists. 2 player of the match is a 7.08. And because of this, I thought, you know what? Let's keep it rocking. Let's go another season without doing anything because it's working. And in his second season, less games played, but he scored 17 goals, so a better goals to game ratio. Same average rating, did get 3 assists this time. He's had 2 really good established, he's become an established striker in La Liga. They've given him the number 9 shirt as well. He's now 21, and look, he's made 11 appearances for Spain and scored 7 goals. He is already an outrageously good striker. He's no longer a Wonderkid because he's now a striker, although that doesn't really describe him very nicely, does it? But he's now amazing. Look at his acceleration, pace, composure, dribbling, finishing are all lovely bright green attributes now. His current ability, we'll get on to Elias in a second, his current ability is all the way from, what was it, 148? It's now 175. A huge jump forward towards that potential ability of 190 because he's played so much game time. I mean, I'll just show you here. His current ability, his potential ability is 190. Look, his reputation's up to 9,220. The top maximum reputation is 10,000. That tells me that other teams might be looking at him. You'd imagine they would be, although it doesn't seem to have happened as of yet. If we have a look at his milestones, first season, look, he scored his first international goal against Malta, made his first appearances, made his debut against Belgium. He's then won at the first division top goal scorer in Spain. He got into the seasonal best 11 for Spain and Valencia twice. He also came 3rd the season afterwards. Look, so he won top goal scorer in La Liga with 16, and then the season after where he got 17, he came 3rd to Raul Garcia and Samu Omarodian. So he's right in there, look, with the top players in the league. Valencia themselves have finished this past season in 6th place, and the season before that they finished in 7th, so they qualified for the Europa League both seasons, meaning he's played European football in this time as well. Now, all of this is great, fantastic news, isn't it? But actually, it's been 2 seasons for his twin brother Elias as well. And if you notice, Sociedad finished 4th and have qualified for the Champions League. So if he's getting into this team, Elias, then actually he's going to be playing Champions League football next season. The year before this, Sociedad finished 2nd, meaning he has played Champions League football if he's actually playing in the team. Let's go to the Sociedad team now and compare. What was it? 175 current ability for Mateo, right? Sociedad's team is being led by Elias Serrano. Elias Serrano is right in this squad here. He's not actually a favoured personnel or anything just yet, even though he has played now 42 games for the Sociedad first team. 42 games, 7 goals. This past season, 24 games, 5 goals, 6.87. The season before that, 12 games, 2 goals, 7.13. The season before last, he only started 1 game, 11 sub appearances. This most recent season, 9 starts, 15 sub appearances. So he's not a starter as of yet, but I actually think this coming season now, we might start to see him starting in the team, and he's definitely improved as well. He's got 16 pace, 15 acceleration, 16 composure. He's not as good, is he, as Mateo? His current ability is only 143, but that is still a little bit better. Probably enough to, I mean, maybe be challenging for first team football. It goes to show that playing football is the most important thing for developing young players in this game. If they're good enough, get them in the team and play them, because if they're just in the squad and they're not playing as much, they grow so much more slowly. Like, look at Elias Serrano here. They have given him the number 9, actually. Still no caps for Spain as of yet, and he hasn't really got anything on his career milestones either. But if you look at the Sociedad team, what was he, 148, his current ability? 143 current ability. If you look at the Sociedad team, they have still got those normal strikers in there. Oyarzabal scored 19 goals. Look, João Felix scored 11. He's still going to be struggling to get into this team ahead of those two. He's going to have to be patient, I think. But on this one, he has played recently, look, according to this, hasn't he? Let's do a quick comparison between the two, because I really feel like Mateo might have gone... he has, look. Mateo's on the right-hand side this time, and he is dwarfing. I mean, look at the shape of the graph here. He's just dwarfing him in every regard. If we go to the attribute screen, I mean, he's better than him in basically all areas except for aggression, which hasn't changed from the start, and flair, and then natural fitness, which is 15 compared to 13. Otherwise, they're either the same in a few, but look at that. Technically, Mateo is better in every single attribute. If we have a look at those striker attributes highlighted, it's pretty night and day, isn't it? In fact, are there any striker ones where Elias is better? There's not, is there? There's one where they're the same. Otherwise, Mateo is better in every other regard. This goes to show that as an agent, kind of working what we're doing. However, has Mateo outgrown Valencia now? They're in the Europa League for next year. They finished 6th in the league, look. But he's got a 175. 175 current ability. That is good enough, I think, to go and play in like top teams around Europe now. All I need to do is go and find a top team around Europe that doesn't have a striker as good as Mateo Serrano, and he should go straight into the team. And I'm thinking we can go and get him Champions League football. So I'm going to go and do a bit of scouting and find out whether I'm going to move him, because I think I might. Okay, so after a bit of scouting around the market and looking at a few different teams and squads to see where he might fit in, I've made the move for Mateo to Liverpool. He's gone to Liverpool in the Premier League. Now, there's a few reasons for this. If you go to the Liverpool squad, you'll notice that they currently play Kvaratskhelia as their striker. Now, he's not necessarily a striker. They've also got Jack Grealish and Ben Doak as their front three, at least in that starting 11 recently. But if you go to their squad over here, and if we do what I did before, which is to do this filter here, at 175, or now 176, because he has improved a little bit. We're actually into July now, and there is a reason for that. He is, according to this, their best out-and-out striker. Now, Darwin Núñez is there, who's a little bit better than. They might still continue to use Kvaratskhelia. I'm thinking and hoping that Zinedine Zidane, who is the Liverpool manager, is going to move Kvaratskhelia wide, either onto the right-hand side instead of Doak, or on the left-hand side instead of Grealish, and then play Serrano as his striker. He should do, right? With a 176 striker who's only going to get better, and quite quickly, even if he doesn't do that, quite quickly he should overtake Kvaratskhelia anyway in terms of current ability. I'm hoping, and he should get himself game time here at Liverpool. Last season, Liverpool are second favourites for this current season. Last season, Liverpool finished in third place. It was Chelsea second, Man City won the league. So I don't think this is too early to make a jump. It's not like he's going to a team that is dominating in the Premier League. And if they were, I suppose, if he gets in the team, is it too early? Probably not. But I think this is the right type of move for him. And he's moved for a deal worth £61 million. There's an intermediary fee of 1.9 million. There's also a hefty sell-on fee that goes to Valencia if he's to move again. And of course, Sociedad did get themselves a nice little chunk as well from that sell-on fee that Valencia had put in when they bought him. So far in his career, he's played for Sociedad, Deportivo on loan, Valencia, and now he's going to go and play for Liverpool. But I did mention there's a reason why he's improved a little bit, and there's a reason I've come back in July, and that is because over the summer, Mateo Serrano won the European Championships with Spain. He's got himself his first major honour, his first major medal of his career. Spain beat the Netherlands in the final of the Euros, Euro 2028. And even though he wasn't in the starting lineup, and even though he didn't play in the final, he has played a few games now for Spain. Look, 16 caps, 7 goals, and he has got himself a winner's medal. This is something that his brother Elias, if we go back to him, he's still at Sociedad, by the way. This is something that his brother does not have on his list of milestones. He's just been getting into the Sociedad seasonal best 11. And I'm pretty sure if we have a look at those seasons, it's not as a starter. He's one of the subs, look. In that season, he's one of the subs in this season. Even though he scored 10 goals in that season there, he's still a sub in there. He has a long way to go to catch up, you would imagine, right? Even if, at the moment, has he improved a little bit? He's up. No, he stayed at 143. Even though I'm hoping that he does get himself some more game time at Sociedad, we're now going to go and find out how Mateo starts his career at Liverpool. We'll go and give him a season, maybe 2 seasons, because I'm hoping that I don't need to move him for a while, and I'll be back with an update. How does Mateo do at Liverpool? Does Elias get into this Sociedad team? Okay, then, welcome back. Not 1, not 2, but 3 years into the future. We are now into 2031. Our players are twins and now 24 years old, and we start with Elias because we usually start with Elias. I think we started with Mateo first last time though, didn't we? At 24 years old, he now has made his Spain debut. Only 4 caps, has scored twice though. 19 caps for the under-21s. Look, he was stuck in there for a while, but at this stage, 3 years into the future, Elias Serrano is definitely a starter for Real Sociedad. He has now played 143 games for them, for the first team, and scored 78 goals. I told you it wasn't too late for him to catch up. If you have a look at his profile here, this is a sensational striker these days. 17 acceleration and pace, 17 finishing. He's getting himself right up in line with Mateo now. And of course, we'll do that comparison. I think that comparison was really interesting last time. Has he closed the gap? I'd imagine at this stage he has. I need to talk you through, though, these seasons with Sociedad. We left it after this season here where he'd started 9 games, 15 off the bench and scored 5 goals. Since then, look, the season after that, he became a starter. 24 starts, 20 goals. An outrageous return, but it gets better. The season after, 18 goals, not as good, but he was playing more regularly. 36 starts this year. Look at this season that he has just had. In 2030-31, 33 starts in the league, 33 goals in the league, 7.44 average rating. It is by far our best season from any of our players so far. And as well as that, they also won the Europa League, Sociedad, this year. 2-0 win in the final, beating Girona. And look who's right there on the score sheet in the final. Elias Serrano with the goal, playing up front with Mikel Oyarzabal at this stage in his career. He's moved João Felix wide, look, to get... They've moved Felix wide to get Serrano into the team. He's become a very established Sociedad starting striker at this stage. His current ability is up to 182. That is above what Mateo's was, but Mateo at 176 was 3 seasons ago. So you'd imagine that Mateo's has gone to at least 182, maybe even higher, but we will compare that in a second. Other things, look, he won the Europa League Golden Boot, or I think he was third. Yeah, he was third place in the Golden Boot in the Europa League. Scored his first goal for Spain, first cap against Norway, age 22. He also won the Super Cup in Spain in 1 year, as well as Sociedad, because now that we know he's a regular, have been finishing in 7th, in 3rd, in 4th, and then that second season before. This most recent season, and this is actually important, I think, they finished 2nd in the league and only didn't win the league on goal difference. Of course, he was the top goal scorer in the league, almost top goal scorer and firing them to the league title. So unlucky not to do that. Barcelona won the final game of the season. They only played on their own, look, whereas Sociedad also pushed them all the way to that point by beating Almeria in their last game. Goal difference, which is a little bit heartbreaking because he could have a league title to his record there. Barcelona have won the league for the first time in, 6 seasons before that, when Real Madrid kept winning it. So all change in La Liga. All of this is brilliant news. It's great development for Elias, which he's not our player. We're not the agent for him. Continental reputation as well, by the way. We need to go and compare that now, though, to Mateo, who at the last point we checked was at Liverpool, about to play his first season with the club, right? Let's go and find out how he's doing 3 years later, where he is still at Liverpool, look, where he's become this striker here. He is outrageously good, by the way, as you'd expect, because so is Elias, to be honest. But 43 caps and 24 goals for Spain. 24 years old. He's got 18 finishing, 18 dribbling. He's got 19 agility, 17 pace, only 16 acceleration. I think that's worse than Elias. For Liverpool, though, in 3 seasons, he's played 91 games and scored 51 goals. Those are good goal-scoring numbers for a striker. But you will notice as well, this past season, we have our first Champions League winner. Elias has won the Europa League. Mateo can go one better. He's won the Champions League with Liverpool. They beat Real Madrid in the final. And there, in the team, look, for Liverpool, is Mateo Serrano. Not a goal scorer in the final, but he was on the pitch. He got taken off on the 74th minute, right before they scored their winner from Shirashi. Is Shirashi his replacement, actually? Did he come on for Serrano? 74th minute. He probably did, actually. So his replacement scored the winner. But that's officially a Champions League winning medal, isn't it? Alongside his European Championship medal, as well as anything else, a Carabao Cup for Liverpool, as well as a UEFA Super Cup as well in his first season, like right after he signed for them. Look, he won the Euros, signed for Liverpool, won the Super Cup, then won the Carabao Cup and has now won the Champions League. Liverpool haven't done all that well in the Premier League, though, if you want to check. Brighton are champions, which is a weird one. 87-point season is really good. They finished 4th. Only 7 points off the tie. I suppose 7 points is a lot, isn't it? But only 3 points off second, look. Seasons before that, though, Liverpool finished 3rd. Before that, they finished 4th. And then the season before that, I think this is when we joined, was 3rd. So they're getting into the Champions League. They've won the Champions League, but they haven't won a league title yet. It's City for 3 years, with Brighton winning it, then Arsenal twice. City then won it 5 years. And then, yeah, it's been pretty much Man City every year, except for a few, isn't it? I guess that's his next aim, isn't it? Now that we need to check his current ability, don't we? He has grown from 176 3 seasons ago to, oh my word, he's reached his potential. He's 190 current ability. He has reached his maximum potential. So does that actually open the door a little bit for Elias to start catching him up a bit? Let's compare them, because I really enjoyed that comparison last time. If we go to Elias Serrano, it was completely in Mateo's favour last time. Mateo's green this time around. This time, Elias is overtaken in definitely a couple of regard. In fact, going by just this polygon here, it looks like Elias is the better player. Technically, Mateo's better, but Elias is better aerially and he's quicker, and then the rest are all the same. Let's have a look at the actual attributes. Yeah, technically, look, Mateo is still a lot better. Mentals are much closer. Physicals, now that's a little bit of a surprise, I'd probably say. Elias is now a little bit better. He's fast. He's got better acceleration and better natural fitness and better jumping reach. Mateo is way more agile, but Elias is actually a little bit more strong, a little bit stronger. So that's interesting. Let's do this highlight for an advance forward just so we can kind of see. I probably still prefer just about Mateo just because of these three, really. Like 18 compared to 16 dribbling, 18 compared to 17, 17 compared to 14. I'd probably still go with this, but it's actually a lot closer, isn't it? 3 seasons down the line, I mean, off the ball at 19 for Elias is actually really good, to be fair. And he's also a bit quicker, so maybe that's the thing, but then the agility makes up for a bit. What I'm kind of saying here is that they are quite well matched at this stage. What we need to go and do is go and continue this to see what happens. Neither player, by the way, is wanted by another team. I think I'm going to leave him at Liverpool, at least for now. They've just won the Champions League, right? So it'd be silly to move him at this stage. But maybe I'll pay attention to if any teams actually become interested in him and then make the move. What I'm thinking in my head is maybe a move back to Spain, or maybe a move to another team that's going to win league titles, perhaps, because actually that's one thing he hasn't got. He doesn't have those league titles. For now, though, I think we're going to do another season with Liverpool. All right, then, I have gone 3 more seasons, and we start on the profile of Elias, the player we are not the agent for, remember. He is still at Real Sociedad, and he is now an unbelievable striker. He is listed as an elite striker at the age of 27. 3 more seasons here at Real Sociedad, where he's still at Real Sociedad. He's wanted now by Manchester City. Nothing's yet come of that, and I'm not sure it will, because look at this value, £132 million to £397 million. We might get a world record transfer fee for one of these players here. We're starting with Elias because there are some big updates to tell you about Mateo as well. But first, though, we need to check in with Elias's current ability. He is now, if you remember, Mateo had reached his limit of 190. Elias is now also 190. Both players have hit their potential ability and won't get, I mean, they might get a little bit better and some of their attributes might change, but they won't get any better in terms of current ability. But at this stage, Elias Serrano has played 239 games for Sociedad and scored 145 goals. He is surely a Sociedad legend, you'd think. Well, he's actually not. He's not a legend. He's not even a favoured personnel. I don't really know why that is the case, but he's not even made it onto the favoured personnel, whereas the coach here, Vincent Kompany, the manager, is a favoured personnel, and that's odd to me. However, there is more to tell you about, because in this time, in these 3 seasons, most recently, and the reason we're now at July rather than where I usually come back at the end of May, start of June, is because Spain have just won the World Cup 2034, and our boys are leading the line together for Spain. Mateo has got himself top goal scorer with 12 in the World Cup. Elias has got himself 7 goals in the World Cup. And in the final, they beat Brazil, look, 3-2. And there was a penalty goal from Mateo. And Elias was on the bench. He didn't actually come on in the final, but he's been coming on and playing a lot of games in the other games in the World Cup too. Spain are world champions. Both brothers have that on their CV now. Elias, as well as that on his CV, has some pretty interesting things. He's come 3rd place in the European Men's Player of the Year award. He won the Champions League Golden Boot this most recent season, as well as also, in terms of actually winning things, he won the Copa del Rey. Before that, he won the European Golden Shoe, which is pretty prestigious, actually. I think that's the most goals scored, right? He's actually won it twice now. He won it in 2031, look, and 2032, both with that 33 goals that we saw before, as well as 30 goals the season after that. Mateo, bit of a spoiler. In fact, let's jump over to Mateo because I need to. Mateo did win it, not this season, but last, playing for Paris Saint-Germain. Only scored 22 goals, but managed to win this award. Mateo has made the move. He's a PSG player, and this wasn't actually one that I did. I did think about, I said the words, I want to maybe try and move him to a team that's going to win the league so that he gets some league titles on his CV. Well, he went to PSG, and is there a league in the world which is more nailed on to go and win a league title? Probably not. He has won the Liga 1 Uber Eats look this most recent season, as well as winning the World Cup. He went to PSG organically in-game in the January of 2032. Well, he's had 2.5 seasons now at the club, look. He went for £122 million. Just think of the money that Liverpool made there, but also Valencia made a decent, hefty sell-on fee there. I think it was like 30% sell-on percentage that I put into that contract. So 122 million gives them decent money as well. I wonder if actually Sociedad get any of that as well, because sometimes you see that, don't you, when a player moves, when another player moves in game and you get like 700k for sell-on fees and stuff. I think they probably do get a little bit of that, don't they? Here though is Mateo Serrano at 27 years old. He's got 79 caps for Spain and 59 goals. That puts him as a genuine, he's getting there to become an all-time great for Spain. He is listed in the list of legends for Spain, alongside Lamine Yamal, who's made his way into there, alongside Pedri, Gavi, as well as older players like Xavi and Iniesta, Guardiola, Raul, Casillas, David Villa, we mentioned him earlier, is in there. Elias Serrano is in the top players list, but not yet a legend. It's a bit weird, actually, how Serrano is not getting himself into these legends. I can't believe he's not even a favoured personnel at Sociedad. It makes no sense to me. I wonder, actually, is Mateo a favoured personnel at PSG yet or anything? Because that would be yeah, he is. He's favoured personnel at PSG, and he's only played how many games for them? 66 games. He's got 49 goals in those 66 games. So it's pretty good. I'll just show you the goal scoring records, by the way. From that move to Liverpool, look, he scored 14, 19, 18, 15. This was only half a season before he moved in the January. Scored 22 and then 20 most recently in this season here. He's won a couple of trophies. Well, he's won the World Cup and Liga 1. He won the French Cup. He won Liga 1. He won the French Cup. There's the two trophy. Or Trophy de Champion. That's probably the Community Shield type cup, isn't it? He won there. Or is it? Yeah, I think it is. Community Shield, perhaps. He also won the French Cup there and then Liga 1 as well a year before that. In terms of career milestones, I'm pretty sure that Mateo has more trophies, competitions. In fact, compare this look to Elias Serrano's. I think he has one more, but actually there are a fair few. If we just go across between the two, look, there's definitely more big competitions being won by Mateo still at this stage. But actually a little bit. There is a bit of catching up being done by Elias Serrano. Where have Sociedad finished in the league, by the way, since we last looked? They finished third twice and fourth, and then this season hasn't started yet. Where are they predicted to finish, actually? I'm interested in that. They have predicted third behind Barcelona and Real Madrid. The winners previously, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Barcelona. Interesting. I will keep an eye on that. There is a part of me that still thinks for Mateo Serrano, is there a move back to Spain at some point? I don't think we need to do that right now, although Champions League wise, I think I'd like either of them to be doing a bit better. Who has been winning the Champions League then? Because it's not either of our two players. It has been Real Madrid. Liverpool did win it. Okay, they must have won it the year after he moved. He moved in the January of 2032, look, didn't they? The season after he moved, they did win the Champions League, and Real Madrid have just won it this most recent season. I want to go see who's won how far our teams have got in those competitions. So Real Madrid beat City last season. Season before that, it was Liverpool beating Bayern Munich. That was after he left. Brighton got to a Champions League final. Look, City won that one extra time. Liverpool won it the year before. And I think that was the year that he was there to win that Champions League, wasn't he? And then he had a season after that, and then he moved in the January. So, yeah, we're not really getting to the final stages of that. How have Sociedad been doing? Because I assume they've been in the Champions League, right? How did they do last season in it? They got to the quarter final and lost to Real Madrid. Year before that, they got to the round of 16 and lost to Liverpool. I wonder if that was Mateo Serrano's Liverpool team or not in that. I mean, can I go on this game here? I want to see if Mateo knocked out. I think it was after he left. It was way after he left. It was 2031, so it was. Year before that, they lost to Liverpool again, actually. Maybe this one. What year was this? This was 2032, so I think he'd left by that stage as well, hadn't he? Anyway, either way. Oh, look, they won. Oh, yeah, and then that was the Europa League win, which we saw before, wasn't it, where he scored in the final. Okay, I think at this stage, they're both 190 current ability. They're both legends of their own right, almost, although not listed in game. I quite like the contrast of Elias staying at Sociedad this entire time, and he's played 239 games. I really hope that he becomes a legend if he does stay, or Is it about to get spicy because he might move to Man City? That could be interesting. I suppose all we can go and do is go a couple of seasons in the future and find out what happens next. Okay, I've gone 2 years into the future and there are some big updates to bring you. Both players are now 29 years old. They're coming towards, I mean, you could call it their peak, and maybe in the year 2036, 29 will actually be considered the very peak of a player's powers with the way that sports science is going. However, you could also argue that maybe they're starting to head down the hill again of their careers. Their current abilities are still at 190, both of them. This is Elias Serrano with now 61 caps and 43 goals for Spain. That's an outrageously good scoring record for the national team there. He's still at Sociedad. He's scored 195 goals for them now in 300 appearances. Is he listed as a favoured personnel at the very least? He's an icon. Okay, he's an icon. I didn't see him on the favoured personnel and I was worried there. He's now an icon at the football club and I'm actually very glad to see that because that would have been a bit bugged, I think, if it wasn't. 300 games for them. A really good goal scoring record. Better than 1 in 2. And he's also really established himself on the world stage, which I need to get into. This is the player that we've not got involved with at all. And he stayed at Sociedad the whole time. But it doesn't seem to be holding him back. In some ways, he's also wanted again by Man City still. They haven't made that move for him. They're 2 years later still looking at him when thinking about whether they should buy him. But have a look over here at the career milestones because 2 years later, we've just had another summer competition and Spain have won another summer competition. They've beaten Germany in the Euros final, where if we go to the teams here, Mateo Serrano led the line with Elias Serrano on the bench again. It was a 3-0 win over Germany, and Mateo Serrano, who I'll come on to in a second, has scored twice in the final. I'm not bugging here, right? You guys would agree with me. Mateo is ahead still, even though the story that Elias has built here, created here at Sociedad is actually quite impressive. Mateo's played for Liverpool, he's played for PSG, he's played for the other teams before that, Valencia, Deportivo. He's been the main man for Spain ahead of his brother, and he's won World Cups and played in the finals and won now a European Championship and played in the final. He is ahead, right? Even if we just scroll down here on Elias's profile, even if you consider that not this year, where he won the European Golden Shoe and he got European Men's Player of the Year award, where he's brilliant, where he won the Champions League Golden Boot again, he's won it a few times. Even if we go to the year before this, where he was the Ballon d'Or runner-up. It is the first time that we've had any of our players on the podium of the Ballon d'Or, and it was Elias ahead of his brother Mateo in third. This is where, if Elias can make that next jump and win a Ballon d'Or, because he scores, I mean, he scored. They both scored 36. Look how similar their profiles are here. Look, one playing for Sociedad, one playing for PSG. 45 appearances, 47, 36 goals apiece, 8 assists apiece, slightly better average rating from Elias, which is what got him into second ahead of Mateo in third. If either of our twins get themselves the Ballon d'Or, does that put them ahead? Even if it's Elias, who I think has not had as good of a career as Mateo. I think we'd have to maybe consider it. Also, both of them did win the Nations League the year before this, but let's go across to Mateo, who is still at PSG now at 29 on £625,000 a week, no less. He's got 88 goals in 125 games for PSG. He's won the league again a couple of times. He's won the French Cup again. He got that third place look in the Ballon d'Or. He's got the Nations League win that I talked about. He won the league another couple times. I'll show you. He also got the World Cup Golden Boot, by the way. I'll show you his goal scoring record in these seasons. 27 games, 16 goals, 23 goals, 20 goals, 22 goals, and then that half season there. He's scoring goals regularly for PSG. Is he a favoured personnel? He's favoured personnel at PSG, even though he's not been there as long, even though he's moved around in his career. He did only get, though, third place on the Ballon d'Or, whereas his brother Elias was second. Are we now, if we go and continue another season, are we going to see either of them win the Ballon d'Or? Because it feels like they're close, which maybe comes from their reputation going right up. Look, they've both got now worldwide reputations, which I think affects the Ballon d'Or massively in game, which is why you always see like mainly Jude Bellingham winning it or Erling Haaland, because their reps are like top. Mbappe always wins it, doesn't he? Even when other players have better goal scoring seasons, etc. Now, though, I think we're going to keep Mateo at PSG. But I think we're going to go another season just because I'm really intrigued to see what happens with that Ballon d'Or. And there it is, a year later, and I knew it. I knew it was going to happen. It felt like it was about right. A year later, we have a Ballon d'Or in the family, and it's not Mateo. No. Elias Serrano at Real Sociedad, stayed there in his entire career, has had a calendar year where he scored 41 goals in 49 games and has won the Ballon d'Or ahead of his brother, who wasn't even in the top 3. The year before this, look, second and third. This year, though, Elias has won it. And we have a Ballon d'Or winner. Does this mean that Elias Serrano has had a better career? Does this mean he wins almost by default? Unless, I suppose, Mateo can go and win one as well. But they're 30 now. Is that ever going to happen? I don't know. This is the situation, though, for Elias. 68 caps, 44 goals for Spain. 330 games for Sociedad. 214 goals. He is now the Ballon d'Or winner. He also won the Goal 50 and the FIFA Best Men's Player and FIFA Pro Player of the Year for 2036 as well. He's had an outrageous upturn in his career. And I think you have to start to argue that maybe has he overtaken Mateo? Is it a better career because he's been loyal and stuck with his home team and managed to achieve this despite not moving? Like, he's got himself on 425k a week with Sociedad, who have finished 5th, look, this year. And, oh, okay, they are going to be in the Champions League. It's not like he's been winning loads of league titles, but I don't think I actually shared with you, they did win a league title. If we go back to 2035, he did manage to achieve it with Sociedad. So he does have a league title on his CV as well. And I think, I don't know, I may be leaning towards, I mean, what Mateo's done is incredible, but Elias has won a Europa League. He's won a Ballon d'Or. He's won the league title all with his home team. He's also won the European Championships. He's won a World Cup. He's won a Nations League. There it is there. Look, he was La Liga EA Sports champion in 2035, the year that he was also runner-up in the Ballon d'Or as well. I don't know, maybe leaning towards that. You know, again, you're going to have to decide in the comments down below. We've got, I'm hoping, at least 5-6 seasons left to go, because they look, I mean, they can still run at 30 here. It's not like their legs have fallen off. We need to go to his brother Mateo and check in over with him at PSG. He's just won the Liga game, but does that mean as much to be winning Liga 1? I mean, he's got lots of trophies there, isn't he? He's scored loads of goals as well, 112 goals in 153 games. Really good. He's been, like, it's been a good move for him, definitely. They haven't won a Champions League or anything, though, or really doesn't look like they've even got particularly far in it. They went out in the quarterfinal to Inter that season. The season before that, they got to the semi-final and lost to City the season before that. So maybe they're closer than I think. Semi-final. Oh no, they lost the Champions League final against Man City in 2035. That would have maybe changed things, you know. But they lost that final. Did he have one before that? It was quarterfinals. They lost to Liverpool, his old team, before that the year. He scored against his old team as well, look, in this game here. Interesting. I think maybe another Champions League. But then again, Mateo's the only one who's won the Champions League. But Elias is the only one who's won the Ballon d'Or. And Elias has also come second in the Ballon d'Or, whereas the best that Mateo's done is come third. Do we need to move him? Maybe bring him back to Spain and actually compete with Elias, and then if he's beating him in terms of goals and winning the league and stuff, then actually that really strengthens his argument a bit. Or do we keep him at PSG? I mean, it's not going to be... I don't think a team in Spain is going to buy him for like 200 million. It would have to be Real Madrid or Barcelona, right? However, his contract is expiring next season. So do we start doing like the Real Madrid thing and start teeing up a free Mbappe move to Real Madrid for next year? Or do we switch it and go to Barcelona? Who's been winning the league the most in La Liga? Barcelona have won it the last 2 seasons. Well, 3 of the last 4 seasons, Barcelona have won it. I feel like we should maybe prioritise them, but I think I'm going to do that. I think as an agent, I also need to look out for myself here and try and make the most money as possible and get that big sell-on fee and that big agent fee, and maybe try and say we're not going to sign a new contract here at PSG, but can we tee up a little free transfer move to Barcelona? Is that sneaky? I quite like it as an idea. Let's at least, though, go and do another season here at PSG so that his contract is about to expire, and we'll also go and find out if Elias goes and wins another Ballon d'Or, which would definitely force our hand a bit, wouldn't it? Let's go to 2038. Okay, let's start with Mateo Serrano in 2038, where he has made the move to Barcelona. I did exactly that. We let his contract expire and he has moved on a free transfer to Barcelona this year. He had a fantastic year with PSG as well. 27 goals. It's his best goal scoring return of his career so far. 32 in all competitions. Is it enough to get into the Ballon d'Or conversation? I suppose we'll have to find out maybe in December of this year. But we have made that move. Barcelona have put him on £575,000 per week. We've taken a wage cut because we're that type of generous player. He is a legendary striker, which is fun. His record in the end at PSG was 139 goals in 183 appearances. It made him a favoured personnel at PSG only. He's not a legend like Kylian Mbappe, apparently. He also did win another league title with PSG as well. Before, we've just had another World Cup. World Cup Golden Boot winner was Mateo Serrano. 2 World Cups in a row, by the way. 2 World Cups in a row. He has been the top goal scorer. The one before this one was when he beat Elias, who finished second place in it. But this year, he got himself 10 goals. He got 12 goals and then 10 goals. I mean, that is an outrageous return rate. If you sort this by goals, the most ever scored in a World Cup is 13. Mateo got 12. That's serious legend status, isn't it? He scored more in a World Cup than Ronaldo did in 2002 when he got 8, than Gerd Muller, which you hear about at every World Cup, don't you, when he got 10. He's done it twice. He's got 10 plus twice. Does that put him back ahead of Elias? I don't know. I feel like these are the conversations that people would be having. You'd either be Team Mateo or you'd be Team Elias, like Ronaldo, Messi. But has either of them won a Ballon d'Or? The Ballon d'Or this most recent year has been won by Javier Munoz at Man City. Now, is he the one who was at PSG before and has he moved? It was, yeah, he was at PSG and he went to Man City. So neither of our brothers are in the top 3 there. And it means that Elias is still the only one who has won a Ballon d'Or so far in this career. Elias, by the way, is still at Real Sociedad. 366 games, 242 goals. He has not won anything in terms of big competitions. Since he won that Ballon d'Or, his team haven't won any competitions. So it's not like they've won the Champions League or the league since then. He's been just ticking along quite nicely, scoring loads of goals. He got 34 in all competitions last season. 19, 27. He got 41 that year. Was that his Ballon d'Or year? I think that was his Ballon d'Or year, wasn't it? 41 and 49 that season. Outrageous player. Outrageous legendary striker. But who's winning? Who's winning? Is it Elias or is it Mateo? I think I'm going to go and do a big jump into the future now with their careers maybe starting to wind down. We're going to go find out how Mateo's career goes at Barcelona, back in the league. If he wins league titles ahead of Sociedad, is that a big sign? If Mateo can get himself a Ballon d'Or, is that a big sign? Let's go to like 2042 or something and see what's been going down. Okay, it's 2042 and we've just actually had another summer international competition, which we'll look at in a second. But I want to start here. 4 years or so have gone past, right? In those 4 years, and in fact, the first year of our simulation, the Ballon d'Or was once again won by Elias Serrano. He's done it twice. The first time was so nice, he had to do it twice. Elias Serrano is a 2-time Ballon d'Or winner, which puts him well ahead of Mateo in terms of Ballon d'Or. Mateo at this point, I think, has only got a 3rd place. After Elias won it after a brilliant year of 34 goals in 48 games, Junior Krupi won it and Elias came 2nd. Mateo has never even come 2nd yet so far. The year after that, neither of them were in the top 3. And the year after that, neither of them were in the top 3. Elias has been the one winning the Ballon d'Ors. Maybe it's just that he scores slightly. I don't even know if he has scored more goals. We'll check. We'll actually compare their goal scoring records, I think. He is still, though, in 2042, he's still at Real Sociedad. He's 35 years old these days. He's got 498 appearances for Sociedad, 328 goals. Surely that makes him a legend. Is he a legend at the club? No. Is he? I assume he's still an icon. Is he even? Yeah, he's still an icon. At what? Surely you're more of a legend than Darko Kovacevic. Surely you're more of a legend than him. With basically 500 games and 328 goals. That seems silly to me. How has he actually been doing now at 35? He's still on 450 games. What's his current ability now? 174. It's still pretty good for a 35-year-old, that, isn't it? He scored 22, 20, 20, and 24 in the most recent 4 seasons. I mean, that's really good. We've actually just had an international competition, but it doesn't look like Spain have done all that well in it. It was a World Cup and they went out in the round of 16 to the Netherlands. Who played up front in this game here then? It was Elias starting with Mateo on the bench. That's interesting. So Elias at Sociedad, it doesn't look like they've won a Nations League again, so they both would have won that, you'd think. We just scroll down here. Okay, Sociedad have won another La Liga. That must mean he's won it ahead of Barcelona, ahead of Mateo's Barcelona team. Did they win the one before that? There he is, look, getting runner-up in the Ballon d'Or. They've won it twice. Oh, my word. We've made the move. Okay, Barcelona have won it the most recent season. We made the move to Barcelona with Mateo to win La Liga, and Sociedad have won it twice. That's outrageous. Real Madrid then won it for a year. Barcelona have just won it, though. So in this most recent season, Mateo, if we'll look at his profile here, did win La Liga. Oh, my word, they also won the Champions League. He's won another Champions League. I don't think I saw a Champions League on Elias's page at all, right? There's that Nations League. There's another Super Cup win there. There's that third place. So after he moved, look, it took him. He moved in 2038. I think Sociedad won it in 2038, didn't they? And since then, their first La Liga title came this year. No, yeah, this year, 2042, 4 years later. But they also won the Champions League. So that's another thing that he's done that Elias hasn't been able to do. The final was against Liverpool. Did he play in this final? He did. He led the line, scored a goal against his former team in a Champions League final. That's massive. That's huge aura to give a player. He's also got the number 10 at Barcelona. He's played 114 games, scored 51 goals for them. Overall for Spain, though, he's got 151 caps, 126 goals. What does his brother Serrano have? 107, 61. So Mateo's got way more then. This is actually really hard to compare. Because of the Ballon d'Ors, it muddies it. And also, Elias going and winning so many league titles with Sociedad, whilst Mateo was playing in the league with Barcelona, muddies the waters even more. But then most recently, Mateo's just won the league and the Champions League. And he did play as well in these most recent seasons. I know that he's old, but he's played 29 starts in the league, 12 goals, even though he's now 35 years old. It's not like he's a bit part player. He is actually playing in this team. Did only score 9 goals the year before that, but he's kind of back with, he got 23 in all comps, 9 in 13 in the Champions League when they won it, look. So he's still very vital for them. This is tough to say. I think what we're going to have to do, they're 35 now. I think what we're going to have to do is go to the end of their careers and do a proper comparison. 321 goals in 537 games for Mateo. 345 goals in 540 games for Elias. So that is actually a little bit better. He has scored more goals. I think his goals to game ratio is actually as well slightly better because he's been consistently just scoring goals. Look at that, 328 goals, almost 500 appearances. Is that right? In fact, what does the comparison screen show us here? Does it show us things like overall stats? I don't think it does. We go to no, it just shows the current season. Overall club. No, I'd like to see, I'd love it if here it had like an overall career comparison. But I don't think Football Manager is going to gift us that, are they? Which is a shame. But there you go. Anyway, let's go. I think we're going to have to go to the end of their careers. I think we're going to find out exactly really who had the better career. I mean, I'll let you guys decide, but I think some of you are going to err on the side of Elias just because story-wise, he's done it all with his home team. Mateo never played for Sociedad in the end. Maybe we'll do him a little move at the end of his career to do that. Let's go, though, until the day that they retire. Okay, so I'm back in 2044, which is, I believe, 2 seasons later. He's now 37 years old, Mateo Serrano. And the reason that I'm back here is that he is actually about to retire. There is a European Championship this summer, and I went to the end of it to see how the teams did. And Mateo had retired, which is why I want to come here, because I can show you more stats on his profile from this point here. This is going to be the end of Mateo Serrano's career. Elias, it seems like, is actually going to go another season. All right, then. So I've gone to the end of both of the players' careers. Now it's 2045, and Mateo Serrano, we'll start with him, our player that we were the agent for, is now 38 years old and has actually been retired now for a season. He retired in 2044. I think I can still show you all of the stats from all of the important things on here anyway. But here he is as now a coach. He ended up playing 167 times for Spain, 138 goals. One of Spain's all-time best ever footballers. I think you have to say that. I think his record for Spain is better than Elias Serrano's. And it puts him in the list of legends along here. Is he actually? Yeah, there he is. Look, he is listed as a legend, whereas Elias is not. Also, to show you the rest of his career here, Mateo, he finished up at Barcelona with another couple of good seasons. When he retired here, look, before this season started, he did play 20 times the year before. So he played basically regular football up until he retired. In that time, he also did go and win a few more competitions. He won the Champions League again. That's important in 2044. He won the league again. Also important. He also won it in 2043. He also won it in 2042 and won the Champions League this year as well. They also came runners up here, look. So since he moved to Barcelona, this was that first Champions League that we looked at in 2042. Since then, he won it again most recently. They have won the Champions League 2 times in the last 4 years. Does that tip him ahead of Elias Serrano again? This is actually really difficult to choose, I think. Overall in his career, which is important, 593 appearances, 343 goals. Compare that to Elias Serrano, who is still technically playing at this stage, but is about to retire, look, at the end of this month. So we won't play any more games on top of this. 616 games for him, 379 goals for him, 107 caps. He didn't actually end up getting many more caps for Spain since the last time we looked at him. 61 goals. Not a legend. Is he, though? After 616 games for them, or 574 first team games, you should say, for Sociedad. Is he a Sociedad legend? No. Like, what does he have to do? Seriously, he's only an icon. He's an icon on here with players I am sure played way fewer games than he did. Claudio Bravo, by the way. How many games did he play for Sociedad? Okay, he did play 229 times for them, but still, that's nowhere near how many times. I mean, Kovacevic, actually. How many times? Can I click on any of these guys? No, of course you can't. Cowards. Won't let me click on them. Either way, he's about to retire. In his final few seasons, the last couple of seasons, he won the Super Cup, and that was about it. Look, he didn't win anything other major-wise. Ballon d'Or-wise, neither of the two players won another Ballon d'Or. This Matas Caceres won it 2 seasons in a row, and then a load of new gens are sort of taken over, look, whereas none of our players really got into that top 3 since Elias was second in 2039. Look, that I think sums it up. Is there anything else that we need to compare? I don't think so. Suppose what I will do is just go to the milestones page here, notable milestones maybe, and just have a quick scroll through so that you can maybe have a quick look. But I think, in fact, I think we've managed to tick off quite a lot. I always made Sociedad captain. That's fun. Was was Mateo ever, I don't know if I'll be able to see on here now. Will I? Yeah, I will. Was it? Oh my word, he broke the Spain record for the oldest player to appear in a match as well. Most goals as well, look. So he's got the most Spain. He's got a load of records for Spain. Was appointed vice captain for Spain. Was also the record sale for Liverpool. Record sale for Valencia. I don't know if that's all of them or these are like, is there anything in here that shows me? I mean, that's just jobs, isn't it? Retired from playing, competition. It doesn't show me the same because he's now a coach, does it? I think, though, you can get a good idea of what these two players achieved in their careers. I'm going to have to let you guys in the comments down below to tell me who had the better career. Was it, you just tell me, Elias won or Mateo won? And if you say it in that way, I'll know also that you've got to the end of the video, which means I think you're a legend. So tell me, did Mateo win? Did Elias win? I guess you could also let me know if you enjoyed the video as well. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel for future videos, and also go and watch the video that pops up at the end of this one because you might also enjoy that one too. Thank you for being here. Have a lovely rest of your day. I'll catch you in the next one. Mateo won. See you in a bit.